In accordance with its legal requirements, the Small Enterprise Development Agency, SEDA for short, held its annual stakeholder forum at the Royal Elephant Hotel's Conference Centre in Centurion on the 28th of September 2012 in order to report back to its stakeholders on the past financial year's achievements, challenges, future plans and general performance. Morning tea was served and the conference was kicked off by the Master of Ceremonies, Kumlani Ncube, who runs an SMME advisory firm called Beehive Capital. Mr. KB Motloiwa, the executive responsible for the Corporate Services Department of SEDA, was the first speaker to address the forum. SEDA also lined up what can only be considered as a special treat, the highly effective motivational speaker and business consultant, Dr. John Tibani. His style is very proactive and in no time at all got the attendees deeply involved in his excellent speech. The chairperson of SEDA, Mr. Linda Ngomezulu, unpacked some aspects of the organization's past year's achievements, future plans and aspirations, while SEDA's CEO, Ms. Shlonela Lupuwana, went into further detail. Although delayed because of overseas travelling commitments, honoured guest speaker was the Deputy Minister of the DTI, Mrs. Elizabeth Tabete, who clearly made some sacrifices in order to grace us with her presence. The conference was closed by the Deputy Chairperson, Mrs. Faith Maimele Hashatsi, who reminded everyone of the many powerful points Dr. John Tibani brought up. In between the various key speakers, time was made for two small business operators, Mr. Mike Pillay and Mrs. Madele Ferreira, to give presentations on how SEDA assistance has changed their and their employees' lives. This was an insight right from the coalface of what SEDA stands for. Attendees were also invited to pose questions and comments to the SEDA executive management, who afterward endeavoured to answer each one. The conference was ended with a photo shoot of all the SEDA management and staff, including some shots with the Honourable Deputy Minister. After close of session, attendees were invited to a scrumptious lunch and to view some exhibition stands of some SEDA beneficiaries. Let's now look at the day's proceedings. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. KB Motloiwa, SEDA Corporate Services Executive.
Thank you, Program Director. The DM in her absence, board members, stakeholders, and I think the chairperson will go into more of the acknowledgements, all protocol observed. Section 36E, 13E6 of the National Small...
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Linda Ngomezulu, Chairperson, SEDA Board.
Thank you, Program Director, Mr. Ncube. It was an exciting moment indeed, the time we spent with Dr. John Tibani. We are very fortunate because we haven't seen a dead horse in the last 3 years in SEDA. The Deputy Minister in absentia who landed this morning from abroad, who is making her way to this important gathering, the Deputy Chair of SEDA, the CEO, the COO of the DTI, Agnes Tsele Masinyane, the board members of SEDA, the staff in general, management, provincial managers, our partners from different organizations. We're back together again this year to again look at the performance of the Small Enterprise Development Agency for the period 2011-2012 financial year. Worth to mention about this period that this organization has continued to maintain the performance that we've seen in the preceding years, both from a financial and performance point of view. The CEO will elaborate in details as to what we mean by this performance.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ms. Hlonela Lupuwana, SEDA CEO.
A very good morning to all our stakeholders, entrepreneurs here present, SMEs, partners, media, government officials, the board of SEDA, and the SEDA staff at large. We are proud to present yet another set of improved results for the year 2011-12. And I think before I begin, I'd like to express a word of thanks to my team, whose support, without which these results would have been possible. The executive, the CFO, Maralies Wakhandoren, sitting here. Ranjit Ali Mudl, who's sitting right at the end of the table. Ranjit, by the way, is responsible for SEDA technology, the incubators, the quality and standards intervention. Kunis Labat, sitting at the end of the table, who's the Chief Operating Officer responsible for the entire SEDA network. Pam Mahlawe. Pam, will you please stand? The HR executive. Lusapo Njenge, who is the Chief Strategy and Information Officer. And KP Mutloiwa, who's responsible for corporate services. And also in terms of financial health, we were found, we evaluated and found to be exceptionally healthy. We pay our creditors in 11 days. We endeavor to do that because we're mindful of the fact that, and this you will find in our annual report, this was confirmed by the Auditor General. We also collect our debtors on average in 22 days, and we also spend our budget in excess of 99%, so we do not return any money back to the fiscus.
My name is Mera Maila from Hosi Army Agricultural Projects. I'm much more interested, through you, Program Director, about the 8 large-scale entities that the CEO and the chairperson of the board has alluded to. Who are they, and what kind of support will SEDA be rendering to them?
Does the SEDA help NPOs, NGOs, BCOs? If yes, how? And if no, why?
Okay, the first question was on the 18 large-scale projects. These are projects that we do primarily with our partners, provincial government, in the area of tourism, in the area of agriculture, and so on. And the reason why we're saying they are large scale, we are looking at those cooperatives that already have beneficiaries in excess of 20 people, and we assist them so that we can have scale and impact.